Morning students. To continue with chapter 3 Money and Credit. So far we have studied that money is something that acts as a medium of exchange in transactions. We also studied that money helps in solving the problem of double coincidence of wants. Then we studied whatever extra money people are having with them, they get it deposit with bank. Now, the question arises, what do the banks do with the deposit which they accept from the public? Here is an interesting mechanism to understand. First one, banks keep only a small proportion of their deposit as cash with themselves. For example, banks in India these days hold about 15% of their deposit as cash. This is kept as a provision to pay the depositor who might come to withdraw money from the bank on any given day. Since this working of bank is based on the theory of probability, that is, bank assumes that on a single day only very few person will come and withdraw the money, and with this 15% of cash bank is able to manage with. Secondly, bank uses the major portion of the deposits to extend loans. There is huge demand for loans for various economic activities. Banks make use of the deposits to meet the loan requirement of the people. In this way, banks mediate between those who have surplus funds and those who are in need of these funds. Banks charge a higher interest rate on loans than what they offer on deposits. The difference between what is charged from borrowers and what is paid to the depositor is the main source of income of the bank. Now, different credit situation. A large number of transactions in our day-to-day activities involve credit in some form or other. Credit means loan. So credit refers to the agreement in which lender supplies the borrowers with money, goods and services in return for the promise of future payment. Now, what is the need of credit? Generally, in urban areas, credit is required to meet the working capital need of production, whereas in rural areas, the credit is required for crop production in agriculture. First one, to meet the credit needs of production in urban areas. Let us try to understand this with the help of an example. We know that it is a festival season. 2 months later, a shoe manufacturer, Salim, had got an order from a trader to supply 3,000 pairs of shoes to be delivered in a time of 1 month. To complete production on time, he has to hire a few more workers for stitching and pasting work. He has to purchase the raw material to meet these expenses. So, Salim obtains loan from two sources. First, he asks the leather suppliers to supply leather now and promises to pay him later. Second, he obtains loan in cash from the large trader as advance payment for 1,000 pairs of shoes with a promise to deliver the whole order by the end of the month. At the end of the month, The Slim is able to deliver the order. He makes a good profit, repays the money that he had borrowed. Thus, credit helps him to meet the ongoing expenses of production, complete production on time, and thereby increase his earning. Credit therefore plays a vital and positive role in the situation. Let us take the second situation, that is in rural areas credit is required for crop production. The main demand for credit is for crop production, which involves considerable cost on seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, water, electricity, repair of equipment, etc. There is a minimum stretch of 3 to 4 months between the time when the farmers buy these inputs and when they sell the crops. Farmers usually take crop loan at the beginning of the season and repay the loan after the harvest. Let us try to understand this by an example, a different type of credit situation. Sapna, a small farmer, she grows groundnut on her 3 acres of land. She takes loan from the moneylender to meet the expenses of cultivation and but midway through the season, the crop is hit by the pest and the crop fails. Though she sprays her crop with expensive pesticides, but it makes no difference. She is unable to pay the moneylender and the debt grows over the year into a large amount. Next year she takes fresh loan, but this year it is a normal year, but her earnings were not enough to cover the old loan. She is coaching debt. She has to sell a part of land to pay off the debt. So this situation in which she was coached is known as debt trap. Debt trap is a situation in which a person has to sell his asset or to take loan in order to repay the earlier loan. So, credit in this situation pushes the borrowers into a situation from which recovery is very painful. This is here the credit plays a negative role. Now, two important terms. These are very important to understand. First is terms of credit. Interest rate, collateral, documentation requirement and modes of payment together are called terms of credit. Terms of credit vary from one credit arrangement to another. They may vary depending upon the nature of lender and the borrower. Now the question arises, what is collateral? Collateral is an security. It is an asset that the borrower owns and uses this as a guarantee to a lender until the loan is repaid. Lender may demand collateral against loan. If the borrower fails to repay the loan, the lender has right to sell the asset or collateral to obtain payment. Property such as land titles, deposits with bank, livestock are some common example of collateral used for borrowing.